Muslims in Bowling Green and around the world are preparing for one of the most important religious experiences of the year. Welcome to Community Corner, where we talk about topics affecting people in the Bowling Green community. I'm Ava Thoman, and today we're discussing the BGSU Muslim Student Association with Amir. Thanks for joining me.
No problem.
First off, can you just explain a little bit about what is Ramadan?
Well, firstly, Ramadan is simply the 9th month of the Islamic Hijri calendar. It's a month characterized by spiritual rejuvenation and aiming for, drawing closer and building a more closer relationship with our Creator. And we do that through mostly fasting. That's the characteristic aspect of the month, from food and water, from sunrise to sunset, but also from other things. Trying our best to, be God conscious throughout our everyday, even in the most mundane activities. Essentially just trying to keep God on our mind regardless of what we're doing. And we do that through increased prayer, reading the Holy Book, the Quran, more than we usually do, and building community and just discipline through everything we're doing.
Yeah, and earlier when we were talking, I had asked how maybe Ramadan is celebrated or practiced, and you said it's more lived. Can you maybe explain that?
Yeah, I think the biggest way to explain that would be to just understand that it's more of like a daily life thing, instead of feeling like it's a performance or somehow changing the way that we live. Really, it's more of how do we incorporate God consciousness and mindfulness in our daily life, and truly feeling it as if it's a sincere and intentful act of worship through everything that we do. And we don't want it to feel like it's a performative thing or only something that we're doing just for the sake of it having to be that month.
Yeah, and then at the end of Ramadan is Eid, or the festival of breaking the fast. What is that?
Yeah, after the month is over, after 30 days of fasting from food and water from sunrise to sunset, it's a celebration of having been blessed with the ability to go through the month and to fast. And it's usually there's a special Eid prayer that we do. Again, a sort of communal event where everybody comes in, and it's a special prayer that's beyond just the 5 daily prayers. Other things that we might do for Eid are handing out food to the poor or needy, basically as an act of charity. And in families, you'll see little kids being given gifts and usually money or some sort. And Eid it's one of the 2 major holidays in Islam, and it's definitely it's technically called the smaller Eid, but it's still very important as it characterizes having gone through another Ramadan. It's truly a blessing.
Yeah, and going back to fasting, that's incorporated in a lot of different religions and cultures. What does that look like during Ramadan?
Yeah, I think especially for some people's notion of what Islamic fasting is, that it's just from food and water, but it's so much more than that. It's not just physically disciplining your the ability to not eat or drink for that long, but it's an act of remembrance, a remembrance of God. It's a private act of worship. Things like charity or our 5 daily prayers, that they can be seen, but the fast is it's a private act of worship that nobody else can see. It's between you and your Lord, and it goes beyond just abstaining from food and water for that day into just trying to be better, trying to gain some sort of discipline and just having that remembrance of God in everything that you're doing.
Yeah, and then in many religions and cultures, fasting can almost be up to the person how they want to do that. Is that something that you experience as well?
In Islam, it's much more of a standardized religion, I would say. It has much more, I suppose, rigid definitions of what a fast entails. And at the bare minimum, the fast is essentially just abstaining from food and water from that sunrise to sunset. And it is part of the obligatory acts of worship in Islam, part of the 5 pillars of fasting during that month. For those who are able, obviously, if you're sick or traveling, there's exceptions to that. You don't fast during the month, and later on you make up the fasts after the month is over.
Okay, yeah. And then what are some on-campus resources for students?
Yeah, at the MSA, we provide 5 daily prayers, congregational prayers, as well as 2 Friday prayers and sermons every week. And we have a prayer room in the Math Science building on the 4th floor, room 445. I think now it's called the McLeod Hall. But yeah, so we have that prayer room, and we have a lot of religious literature within it in multiple languages, Arabic, English, I think even some Mandarin, I don't know. But yeah, and really it's just a space for students from all backgrounds to come and have that space away from the hustle and bustle of campus life and the studying and the worldly matters, to just have a moment between you and your Creator.
Yeah, and then when we were talking, I had the question of some off-campus resources students could go to, and you told me there weren't many in the area. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the only reason that there is a Muslim presence in Bowling Green is because of Bowling Green State University, and any off-campus resources, we would have to point you to very off-campus, like in the local Toledo area, whether it'd be the mosque in Perrysburg, right along the highway, or further into the city. So most of the Muslim population in Bowling Green are students, whether they be international or from here. So there's not much for that, and it is just mostly on campus, the prayer room and some of the events that we hold and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, and then just explaining a little bit, Muslim Student Association, what is that and what is your role within it?
I'm the event coordinator for the MSA, and yeah, we have events such as like potlucks and just sometimes we've had trivia nights, and we're striving to have some interfaith dialogue in the future, and ways that we can engage with the community as a whole. But our main purpose and mission is to provide a community for students, especially Muslims as a religious minority in America. When they come away from family, sometimes it's hard to make that transition, and you're not really supported by the same network that you're supported in at home. And so we strive to fill that void and to make it so that we have that place of community, and anyone is welcome. You don't have to be Muslim, and we're just trying to gain a further and better relationship with God.
Yeah, and then why do you think it's important for students to learn about holidays and different faiths that differ from their own culture and religion?
I would say, just as a general rule of thumb, it's best to learn as much as possible. So whether it be in learning about others' cultures or religions, the more you learn, the more data you're using to make your decisions, so to speak. And I would say that that's the wisest way to lead life, is by trying to obtain as much information as possible, whether that be through the lived experience of people that you talk with, or through research online, or even just talking to people, like having them lead you to different resources. Just learning as much as you can. It doesn't hurt,
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for coming by to discuss the BGSU MSA and Ramadan with us. Next week, we'll bring you more local topics affecting the Bowling Green community. Check out bgfalconmedia.com for all of your campus news. I'm Ava Thoman with BG24's Community Corner.